Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Israf bin Muhammad Nazaruddin and my number matric 2213209998. So today I will present about my title is Work Activity and Workspace Among 20 Safety Guard in University Malaysia Police. So I'm from Group D. This is our team. The first name is Muhammad Hamizur Rahimi bin Muhammad Ramli. Second, me, Muhammad Isra bin Muhammad Nazaruddin. Third, Abdul Hakim bin Abdul Halim. And lastly, Dinesh Ras anak lelaki Gopal. So, I go to project background. In this session, I would like to introduce the background of the research project which focus on the safety guard at the University Malaysia Police UNIMAP. The safety guard at the UNIMAP play a crucial role in ensuring the safety and security of the campus. They are responsible for a variety of tasks, including the first one is the campus patrolling. Safety guard regularly patrol the university ground to ensure security and safety across the campus. The second, traffic control. They manage the flow of the vehicle and pedestrian to prevent collision and ensure smooth movement through the campus. And clock-in process and key issuance. Guards are responsible for the administrative tasks like recording, attendance, and distributing key to the staff member. And then recording facility usage. They track and document the use of university facility and the purpose for the which they are used. 5. Checking enter and exit. Guard monitor the movement of individual entering and leaving the campus to ensure that only authorized personnel have access. And lastly, information entry into office system. There are tasked with inputting essential data into the university digital record keep system. These responsibilities are carried out across the several key areas at UNIMAP, including College Kediaman Tunku Fauzia, College International Resident College IRC, Pusat Sukan, Pusat Kurikulum and Jabatan Keselamatan JKS. However, this duty also comes with several ergonomic risks that can affect the health of the safety guard. Therefore, the aim of our research is to identify these risks and propose control measures to help mitigate them, ensuring a safer and healthier work environment for the guard. For the next slide is focus the project aim. The aim of our project is to identify the risk faced by safety guard during their routine duties. We will use several risk assessment tools such as HIRAD and both initial and advanced era, which include techniques like RULA, REBA, ROSA and ART. This comprehensive analysis will help us understand the ergonomic hazard involved in this task like patrolling, traffic control and data entry. Okay, for the next slide, we focus on the objective. So, the first objective is the identifying hazard. We want to pinpoint the hazard safety guard faced when carrying out tasks such as patrolling, traffic control and data entry. The second objective is the discovery risk. We aim to discover the specific risk associated with the task performed by the safety guard. Third, purpose control measure. We will suggest effective and practical risk control measure to mitigate this hazard, ensuring a safer work environment. For practical implementation, we will make sure that the recommended control measures are practical and can be easily implemented in the daily operation of the safety guard. And lastly is raises awareness. Finally, we aim to raise awareness about the importance of the safety measure among the safety guard and others stakeholders within the university.
And very good day. My name is Abdul Hakim Abdul Halim. I will proceed with the next slide, which is methodology. So, for our first flowchart is start, which is our beginning of methodology and the initiation of the project. For the first step, we are going to problem identification, which is safety guard job scope, such as their routine tasks, responsibility, and physical work. Next is interviewing and observation, which is we need to see the safety guard workflow. We conduct this interview and direct observation of safety guard during their shift. This helps us to capture accurate workflow and work condition from their field. After that, we are going to identify OSH, which is occupational safety and health hazard, which with high rank, which is hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. We will going to be use all job amongst the safety guard from the data we get from the interview and observation. Next, we will be assess the initial error. After identifying hazard, we proceed with an initial ergonomic risk assessment or ERA to give us preliminary view of ergonomic risk associated with each job task. Then we will assess advanced ERA. If necessary, we continue with advanced ERA for more detailed evaluation of higher risk tasks, ensuring that all potential ergonomic risks are clearly understood. After that, we are going to extend the advanced ERA, which is by using data analysis with four methods, which is RULA, REBA, ROSA, and ARC. This phase involves data analysis using various ergonomic tools, which is RULA, Rapid Upper Limb Assessment, REBA, Rapid Entire Body Assessment, ROSA, Rapid Office Strain Assessment, and the last one is ARC, Assessment of Repetitive Tasks. This tool helps us to measure the level of risk associated with the body posture and repetitive action. After we analyze this data, we are going to make the improvement by risk analysis and ergonomy. Based on the finding, we then propose the improvement. This includes risk mitigation strategies and ergonomic recommendation to reduce physical strain and improve workplace safety. When the improvement is tally with the assessment of X1 ERA, we can proceed to the end of the project. If no, we will make another improve that tally with the assessment of advanced ERA. Is methodology, which is the tool that we use. From the first tool is hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control, which is HIRAC. So for the HIRAC, we got several items to make, which is the first one is hazard identification. In this hazard identification, we identify the source or harm or hazard in the job scope of the security guard or safety guard. Next is the risk assessment, which is the possibility of a hazard to cause damage and establishing the possible severity or effect of the damage. Next is risk control, which is we measured are implemented to remove or reduce the identified risk. And the last one is the risk assessment, which is the control put in place are constantly reviewed and checked to be effective. This hierarchy is important to know the risk and control the effect or harm that they got from their job scope. Next tool is initial ergonomic risk assessment, which is initial ERA. So from this initial ERA, there are also several things that we need to do, which is observation, by look at how the employee perform their task from our project, which is the safety guard. Next is the posture check, which is identify outward static or sustained posture, which maybe which is in the safety guard. They used to patrol and sit or standing in front of their post. Next is effort assessment, which is evaluate tasks requiring of forceful invasion such as lifting. For this one is the safety guard rarely pick up things, so we will provide the minimum value as we can. Next is repetition scan, which not any repetitive movement, which is for the safety guard. Their repetitive movement is to clock in the key, so they need to do it at least 3 hours one time. Next is environmental review, which is check lighting, temperature, ventilation and noise. The next thing is risk scoring, which is assign score to identify the risk to gauge their severity. And the next step, the last step for initial ergonomic risk assessment, initial era, is height score trigger more detail to move to advanced era, which is the score from we got from the initial era, which will provide the need of advanced era. Next is a lead to short-term or long-term recommendation for improvement. The next methodology, which is for the last step, is advanced ergonomic risk assessment, which is in short advanced era. So from this advanced era, we will get the more detail for risk control. So for the first step is we got the score from building on initial era, focus on area already identified as high risk, which is maybe some of it is outward posture, forceful exertion and repetition. So from this factor, we analyze the tool that need to use, which is number one, targeting outward posture. From this outward posture, the method that we can use is two, which is ruler and rebar. So for ruler, which is rubber upper limb assessment, we analyze the upper body of posture, assign a numerical risk score. For the rebar, rehabilitation engineering body assessment, which is integrate posture analysis with whole body movement and force for a more complete picture of postural strain. And next is analyzing forceful extension, measuring physical strain during lifting, carrying or heavy work, consider posture and frequency of extension. However, for this safety guard, there are not so much heavy work involved, so it will maintain low. So for the last one is assessing repetitive movement, which is the tool that we going to use is ART, which is assessment of repetitive tasks. This method examines repeated and frequent movement, assessing intensity and duration to determine the repetitive strain risk. For the safety guard, the repetitive job scope is the clock in the key, which they need to do at least one time each 3 hours. So next is ROSA. ROSA is Rapid Office Strain Assessment. This is for office setting. Consider both repetitive action and posture hazard to evaluate ergonomic impact. So for this ROSA, some guards might record the data that they get, such as fine, or the record that people go in or out from the campus, and also the facility recorded use. They must sit like as the office setting. In this method, we also use method of interviewing and observation. In interviewing, we directly ask the safety guard about their job scope and others risks they face. For observation, we will observe their work according to their shift to gather a proper hazard assessment.
Allow me to begin by welcoming you all. My name is Dinesh Raj Analaki and Gopal. So today, I'd like to start with the slide of result, which is IRAC form. So what does mean by IRAC form? IRAC form is a document used for asset identification, risk assessment and risk control. It's a systematic approach to managing workplace safety and health, helping to identify potential assets, assess their associated risks, and implement measures to control or eliminate those risks. So the first activity is the traffic control, which is menjaga lalu lintas. The asset will be the accident. In this scenario, the activities involves managing traffic flow, which possess a potential asset of accidents. This is often due to the high speed of vehicles and the constant movement of traffic. The risk factor needs to be assessed for potential injury or fatality. So the next activity will be roadblock construction. The asset is accident 2. Workers involved in roadblock construction are at risk of accident due to moving vehicles and heavy machinery. The asset primarily relates to the physical risk posed by posing traffic and the operation of construction equipment. So the third activity is ensuring student safety, which is menjaga keselamatan pelajar. Asset is fighting between the students, which is pergaduhan. This activity pertains to ensuring the safety of students, which involves managing potential conflicts and fights. The risk here is the physical harm caused to students during fight. The following activity is recording vehicle entry and exit, which is merekod kenderaan keluar masuk. Asset is diserang oleh orang luar, attacked by outsiders. The activity of recording vehicle movement exposes the worker to potential attacks from outsiders who may attempt to disrupt operation. The risk is high in areas with low security. The following activity is clamp kenderaan yang beredar di kawasan larangan. Clamming vehicles in restricted area. Asset is bending. Clamming vehicles involves physical effort and frequent bending, which may result in musculoskeletal injuries like back pain. And the following activity is working at night. Asset is dark roads. Working at night can expose the worker to accidents, particularly in areas with poor lighting. The seventh activity is using the office computer. The asset is incorrect posture. This activity involves sitting at the desk for a long periods while using a computer, which can result in incorrect posture. Over time, poor posture can lead to musculoskeletal issues like back pain, neck strain, or carpal tunnel syndrome. So the last activity the guard went through was working under excessive workload for events. The asset is heavy workload. This activity involves managing a heavy workload, particularly during large events, which can lead to stress and fatigue. The pressure to meet deadlines and the physical demands of event management can contribute to mental and physical exhaustion. So let's move to the next slide, which will be the initial form. So by using the IRAC table, we get to know that by reducing the asset, the security guards need to use the traffic safety flag and reflective safety vest. To reduce all the assets, we need to use the security guards need to use these two equipments to reduce the assets. I'm gonna let you guys know about the initial era. Initial era is a preliminary assessment to identify potential ergonomic asset in a workplace that could lead to musculoskeletal disorders, which is MCDS. It involves evaluating the workplace tasks and employee interaction to pinpoint risk factors like awkward posture, repetitive motion, and forceful executions. So in this initial era, we have few assessment details, which is the first one is awkward posture. The evaluation shows no significant risks for awkward posture, 4 out of 13. This posture risks did not warrant further advanced assessment. The second detailed assessment is static and sustained work posture, identified as a significant risk, 3 out of 3. Since the posture type can lead to prolonged strain on musculars and joints, an advanced era is required for further investigation. So the third point will be the forceful execution. No significant risks observed, 0 out of 1. No heavy items need to be lifted, and thus the need for an advanced assessment is not necessary. So the following detail is the repetition, identified as a risk, 5 out of 5. Repetitive tasks, if not controlled, can lead to chronic injuries over time and thus requires an advanced era. Other factors such as vibration, lighting, temperature, ventilation, noise. No significant risk identified for vibration, temperature, ventilation or noise, meaning that no further assessment is needed for those factors. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about the advanced era ruler assessment. The ruler rapid upper limb assessment tool is used for assessing the risks associated with awkward posture, particularly those involving the upper limbs. It helps evaluate whether the worker's posture during tasks such as lifting, carrying or reaching could lead to musculoskeletal disorders in the long term. So the assessment details tells about the awkward posture. The ruler tool indicates that the risks are still present, particularly in situations where workers perform tasks that involve bending or holding awkward position. This is where the advanced era focuses as prolonged exposure to such posture can cause long-term damage. We analyze that the ruler assessment tool takes into account factors like the position of the arm, wrist, neck and back. It assigns a score to each posture based on how severe the risk is. As you can see in the slide, we have attached the file that the score, what the score has achieved. Recommendation based on the assessment: improvement to posture task design and workstation ergonomics should be recommended to reduce strain. This slide represents about advanced era, which is ROSA assessment. So in shortly, I can say ROSA is an ergonomic risk assessment tool used to identify and quantify risks associated with computer-related work and discomfort in office settings. It specifically focuses on risk factors like awkward posture and the use of peripherals like monitors, keyboards and mice. So these repetitive tasks identify that especially those requiring frequent movement could pose a significant risk of strain to the muscle and tendons. Tasks such as typing, as you can see in the slide. So typically example of activities that need further evaluation. So the analysis tells us the higher the risk score indicating a need for intervention. So recommendation based on the RUSA assessment: the introduction of task rotation, improved ergonomic tools and regular breaks should be considered to reduce the strain on the workers and mitigate the risk of injury. RUSA assessment also used to evaluate specific posture and intensity of physical asset during repetitive movement. So lighting, as per the era lighting risks are found which need advanced era, the ROSA assessment would evaluate if inadequate lighting contribute to eye strain or improper body posture due to poor visibility. It may suggest enhanced lighting in work area to reduce strain. To further mitigate the risks identified in both ruler and ROSA ergonomic, improvements and work environment modification should be recommended, including better lighting, more comfortable workstation and reduced task repetition, which is task repetition. A focus on proper task rotation, stretching and breaks should be emphasized.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amizur Rahim bin Muhammad Ramli. My metric number is 2213209997. I would like to present about REBA. What is REBA? REBA stands for Rapid Entire Body Assessment. It's an ergonomic tool used to evaluate the risk of musculoskeletal disorder associated with the job task involving the whole body. It's useful for assessing work that involve awkward posture, forceful exertion, repetitive movement, static muscle work. REBA gives a score based on how body is positioned and used during tasks. This score help identify how urgently intervention is needed to reduce ergonomic risk. For the score on the REBA, we have three sections: Section A, Section B, and Section C. And you can see on the form for the REBA assessment. For Section A is evaluate neck, trunk, and leg. For the neck, is a slightly flexion and score 2. And the trunk bend forward, score 3. And leg is a kneeling, and we put the score 4. And for the posture, for score A is 7. And after that, we plus 1 for the 4th score, because the possibly due to handling. And the final score for A is 8. For the section B, it evaluate the arm and wrist. And for the upper arm is slightly extension, and we put the score 2. And lower arm is horizontal, score 1. And the wrist is a natural to slide, flexion, score 2. For the posture, score B is 2. And the coupling score, we put 0 because the grip on object seems acceptable. For the final score, B is 2. For table C, we can get the score from the table A and table B. And the score for table A is 8 and score for table B is 2. So the table C score is 8. So we plus 1 for the activity score because the body part is held for longer than 1 minute. So the final score for REBA score is 9. 9 is the categorized for the high risk and investigate and implement change need to do. Next, what is ART? ART stands for Assessment of Repetitive Tasks. It's an ergonomic risk assessment tool to evaluate the risk of upper limb disorder in job involving repetitive movement. The ART tool focuses on arm, neck, and hand posture, repetition rates, force use, duration, and recovery time. It helps identify tasks that may cause strain or injury to the upper limb and guide employers on when and how to intervene. So we analyze the task for the clock-in key. The task description is item weight handle below than 3 kg. The primary hand use is both hand. The tool use is none. Repetition rate every 3 hours for the safety guard to clock in the task. Total working time is 12 hour shift with the task done daily. No rotation to other tasks. The score sheet for ART. First, the risk factor is arm movement, A1. For the left arm, color is yellow and score is 3. And for the right arm, color is yellow and score is 3. For the repetition, A2, the color is green and score is 0. For the right arm, color is green and score is 0. For force, B, the left arm, the color is yellow and the score is 3. And for the right arm, the color is yellow and score is 3. For the head or neck posture, C1, for the left arm, color is green and score is 0. And for the right arm, color is green and score is 0. For the C2 back posture, for the left arm, color is yellow and score is 1. For the right arm, color is yellow and score is 1. For the C3 arm posture, for the left arm, the color is green and score is 0. For the right arm, color is green and score is 0. For the wrist posture, C4, the color for the left arm is yellow and the score is 1. For the right arm, color is yellow and score is 1. C5. Hand or finger grip. For the left arm, color is green and score is 0. For the right arm, color is green and score is 0. For the D1, brakes. For the left arm, color is yellow and score is 2. For the right arm, color is yellow and score is 2. D2, work pace. For the left arm, color is green and score is 0. And right arm, color is green and score is 0. For the D3, other factors. Left arm, color is green and score is 0. Right arm, color is green and score is 0. For the task score for the left arm is 7 and task score for the right arm is 7. Then for the D4 duration multiplier, we put the 0.5 for the left arm and right arm due to the both hand is used, and we time each with 7. So the exposure score for the left arm is 3.5 and exposure score for right arm is 3.5. For the improvement for the awkward posture, we suggest to provide ergonomic training for good posture, especially for overhead reach and prolong the posture. Then implement adjustable tests and tool to reduce strain on hand and neck. Second is lighting. Ensure adequate and adjustable lighting in all work areas to prevent eye strain. Third is repetitive movement. Implement frequent breaks to reduce repetitive strain. Advise guard on ergonomic hand and body positioning. Consider redizing the workstation with the ergonomic keyboard or tools to minimize data entry strain and reduce repetitive strain injuries. Last, for the improvement is static and sustained work posture. Encourage job dynamism by allowing guard to alternate sitting and standing. Provide anti-fatigue mat and ergonomic chair for comfort long shift. Conclusion from this all we present, University Malaysia Perlis must identify the significant ergonomic risk for its safety guard that can cause from physical activities like traffic control and night patrol. Night patrol can leading to the accident and poor posture and repetitive tasks causing the muscle strain. To counter this, UNIMED must propose the solution including ergonomic training, providing adjustable equipment, improving lighting in UNIMED, and encouraging alternating position and more breaks. Implementing this measure is expected to enhance gun safety and well-being, improving their efficiency and contributing to a safer campus environment. Last but not least from us, if the health and safety of the safety guard are ensured, then the safety of UNIMED and its students can also be guaranteed. So that's all from us, Group D. Thank you.